Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
Bagua Gorge Gate Breach case put off again. The case involving two men charged for unlocking a safety gate near Dam Head in St. Catherine has again been put off as video footage of the incident is still outstanding. The men, Glenroy Denton and Garth Brown, appeared before the St. Catherine Parish Court on Friday for alleged malicious destruction of government property. Defense attorney Alexander Shaw said that while the defense was ready to proceed to trial, the Crown was not. Senior Parish Court Judge Jacqueline Wilcott ordered that the men to return to court on September 14, stating that it would be the last mentioned date. The accused are on bail. It is alleged that on September 26, 2022, both men were seen cutting the padlock at the entrance of the Bagua Gorge, which was closed after the Rehoboth overflowed its bank. Denton was arrested first and Brown subsequently turned himself into the police. Both men have declared their innocence to the court, citing mitigating circumstances. St. Anne councillors concerned about absence of JPS reps for council meetings. Some councillors in the St. Anne Municipal Corporation are again voicing concern about the absence of representatives of the Jamaica Public Service JPS from council meetings. This as there is no one from the company to respond to complaints lodged by councillors regarding issues in their divisions, particularly defective utility poles and malfunctioning streetlights. The matter was again highlighted by councillors Winston Brown and Robert Weir during Thursday's meeting. They chastised the JPS for being tardy in responding to concerns. Councillor Brown for the Burbridge Division, who is a minority leader for the People's National Caucus, complained that despite reporting the problem months ago, the JPS is yet to repair several street lights. Meanwhile, Councillor Ward, who represents the Claremont Division, said rotten poles in his division pose a danger to residents.
We can get the calls from the people that we represent about the non-functional street light. I don't know about it. And we are the ones getting the blame. So, Mr. Chairman, we have to do something to get JPS to a meeting and to get those lights repaired. How on earth could they have JPS with non-functional lights? Mr. Chairman, I was still not getting the service. That is almost coming like a scamming.
We have rotten poles that is just half of it into the ground, leaning sideways on the road. The service wires on the poles, that is just a hole in the pole in the ground. And it's a matter that I have spoken to JPS several times. They came and took pictures, and it's going almost like here, and those poles are still at the location in the same position. I am wondering if JPS doesn't care anymore. I mean, you cannot go JPS about when you have a guidance. And when it comes on to us as representatives of different divisions, once a street light goes, the first person that the residents are going to look at is the council. And even the same JPS workers is telling people to go to your council. And the council cannot send a man over and post to one piece.
Mother complains that gifted footballer son abducted by a prominent high school. It is a woman's worst nightmare to find out that her voice is being ignored in determining the future of her child. This nightmare is reported to know a reality for St. Catherine businesswoman Paula Richards, whose child has become the center of a tug-of-war between competing high schools' athletic programs. Her son, 17-year-old Dante Dakers, is a gifted footballer and highly sought-after student athlete with excellent academic credentials. Earlier this week, she reported Dante, the captain of the Wolmer's Boys School 2022 Manning Cup team, missing to the divisional headquarters of the St. Catherine South Police. On Monday, he left the family home without her knowledge or her consent and did not return home. He has reportedly been training at the football camp in the hills of St. Thomas with other members of the Hydale High football team. At the time of the store's publication, he still had not returned home. Ms. Richards did insist that despite her wishes, her son was transported from Hydale in St. Catherine to an undisclosed location in St. Thomas. And even after the intervention of the police several days ago, her son has not returned home. I am a single parent. I have raised him by myself for 17 years. So how these people have been able to abduct my son, transport him to another parish without my consent for 6 days? Nobody could do this to Dr. Small's child, she told reporters, making reference to Hydale principal Dr. Walton Small. Ms. Richards said that she had her initial suspicions that something was amiss when Dante's friends, who attended Hydale High School, came over to her house for the weekend and left after one night with overstuffed puma bags packed full of gears and clothes. When I got up and looked around at 7 a.m. on Monday, Dante wasn't here. At first, I thought he had gone for early morning training at Cavaliers FC, but he would not normally do that. He would not have left to go to Cavalier training without telling me, she said. The boys then pack and go away with the clothes from the camp from Sunday. She said she tried to call her son several times, but he refused to answer. She chalked this up to an argument that they had the week before, where he had suggested that he wanted to leave Wolmer's to attend Heidel in his final year of high school. Me tell Dante, me go check out your brain because something is wrong with you. This is one normal human being, she said. Miss Richards said that there are forces determined to influence her son's future without her involvement while he was still a minor. She said that a member of a popular Premier League team board had made offers to pay this, that, and other stuff, and there was an undue influence for him to switch schools and now attend Heidel High School, which is said to be the feeder for the club. I asked what other stuff were you offering. He said, some other stuff. I'm running out of my room. You can't make them big man they offer your thing and spin your head, Miss Richards said. When she realized Monday that Dante was missing and not returning her calls, she called one of his friends who answered and said that Dante was at Heidel High School. It was then she said that she also spoke to Heidel board member to convince him to send her son back home. I told the board member to return him back to me. You wouldn't like me to come up there, she recounted. The board member said you never gave him any consent. I asked him how many boys you have up there at Heidel. He said 23. You got consent from them? He said yes. You got from me? He said no. He said we have a WhatsApp group for the parents and I was going to put it in it. I said, but board member, you couldn't put me in any WhatsApp group because we not have no discussion. Me not entertain you, no discussion with me picking for Heidel, she said. Nevertheless, her son never returned home. She became aware that he was in St. Thomas, but didn't know exact location, so she reported him missing. On Monday, the police contacted her son via phone and advised him to return to the family home and also to report to the police to establish that he is no longer missing. Ms. Richards said she contacted Dr. Small, principal of Heidel School, who said he had no knowledge that her son was in St. Thomas. Efforts by reporters to get a comment from Dr. Small proved futile. Ms. Richards expressed dismay that her son may get sick because of the dust situation in St. Thomas. I would like my son to be returned to me so that we can have a real conversation about his future. These people are vultures. They are recruiting my child without my consent. I can't deal with the blatant disrespect. Dante will be going to Heidel over my dead body, she said. In 2020, the Inter-School Secondary Sports Association responded to stories of abuse to student athletes and wildcat recruiting by voting to restrict movement between schools. In athletics, that translates to the eligibility of only 2 transferred athletes per class, age group, category per school. Dakers turned 18 in August of this year. A member of the Greater Portmore Police said the situation is far more complex than a simple child abduction. The situation needs to be resolved between mother and son. That is the important thing at this time. Based on the communication between the police and Dante, he is not missing and he is not in danger, the detective who asked not to be named spoke. Reason with Dante, it appears that he wants to do what he wants to do. We have to try to preserve the relationship between the mother, who is caring and supporting, and the son who needs some form of guidance. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification